Hi, I'm Jeanette at Make Sweet Memories. I want to take just a few minutes today and talk about simple embellishments. Using the Creative Memories 1 3/4 inch square punch. It would be very easy to overlook this simple basic shape. I almost did myself, but I want you to stay tuned to the end of the video where I will give you some embellishing tips and then some simple formulas that you can use to create quick, darling pages. Okay? So let's jump into that together. I have loved using the 1 3/4 inch square and circle punches. You'll be surprised at how many times you reach for those simple shapes. I did have the previous square and circle punches that Creative Memories had. These are from old company, and you can see they're worn out. They still work. They're a little bit stiff, and that's one of the major differences between the new punch design and the older one. These are much easier to use. My grandkids use these. This one is a 3/4 inch and an inch 1/4 and an 1.5 inches, and I have punched these there so you could see. Now you have the 1 3/4 inch, and that completes your set. And why is that important? Because the fun part is layering, right? As they gradually build, you can layer with your paper and stickers. You may not be aware, but the totally tonal stickers have been created to fit just inside here. So this sticker will fit right inside a piece of paper that's been punched there. And the same with the circle. This "So Happy" will go right inside of this circle. So it just makes scrapbooking easier, faster, and funner, really, when you can layer with your embellishments. When I look back on my earliest albums, this is one of the first albums I ever created. I can see I loved color and all the creative options out there. I have stickers everywhere in the white space. Can you see that? If there was white space, I thought a sticker should go there. I have a deckled edge. I have a scalloped edge. I have stickers. I have die cuts. I have different shapes in my photos. It's kind of like your eye isn't sure where to look first, right? And I had fun with this. You can see it's colorful, but over time, my style evolved to something that was more classic because it was faster and easier to create. And I really embraced the look. And I noticed more of the individual pictures when I kept them square or rectangular. And I could add in some softness with embellishments, but I kind of ended up grouping those together so that this feels kind of chaotic to me. And I just really didn't know. I just kind of started and this is what I was doing. But if you might recognize this, right? You might have some albums that look like this. And there's really no wrong way to scrapbook. If you love this, then keep doing it. It's fine. But my style grew to enhance the pictures, tell the story, and have a little fun with the color and embellishing. Within the last couple of years, I've had a lot of customers asking more and more about how to embellish their pages. So I wanted to share a few tips that I learned with you. These are a few tips that I learned from my friend Lauren at Crafts and Joy that I've adopted myself, and they just make so much sense to me. I can keep my pictures square or rectangular. They're faster and easier to lay out. And then you end up with a couple of open spaces here. And that's a good place to cluster. So if you look here in the top corner, let's see, can you see that pretty well here? You can see the circle punches here, something a little larger, and then rectangle, 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 but they're different widths, right? So that kind of creates some interest. And the first tip is create a cluster with odd numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right here, okay? It just kind of draws your eye in. You don't want things to be too matchy-matchy. You want to kind of ground this together instead of putting it all over the place, right? It gives your eye a chance to rest and take in everything that's there, but it still feels peaceful and not chaotic. Having a little white space on your page allows you to move from photo to photo and actually see what's there. Your eye just kind of will want to rest there. So you get to decide what you put in your clusters, and you need to be very intentional with that. If you have a whole half page of cluster, then when you open up your 2-page spread, you end up looking at the cluster and not the photos. So we do want to keep the photos the star of the page. This is what we want, and then we want to draw you in with the story, right? But you can add little strips that will add softness to your page, and there will be a little spot that always opens up for journaling or for clusters. So you can have a lot of fun with these, but keep your photos and your story the main part. We want to keep the main thing the main thing. You can see here how fun and fast that is for this cute little border with circles of graduating sizes, right? I just used my circle punches. If you don't have a punch, you could try it with your custom cutting system and try making just smaller ones. But the punch is very easy and fast. Here I used the square maker, punched and trimmed that off so it would fit, put a little word strip, then cut a picture with the 1 3/4 inch square punch. And then I made a frame here with that same square punch and kind of layered on top of it. One really fun combo, if you have both of these punches, is to pair up a tag with a square. So something kind of taller and skinnier and something shorter, right? So if you have a 2-inch strip of paper, you could just slide it in there, or 2.5. This one is about 2 by 3 inches. If you don't have the tag maker, you can cut a piece just like this and take your corner rounder and slip it in right there and just pop off each of the edges. Kind of center it in there. And you can have a little tag that you make yourself. Just punch a hole at the top with a little hole punch right here, and you have your own little tag. You could do all 4 sides or just keep the top 2. But you can see, like, here we go with a cluster. This is kind of the base that we would work off of, right? And I kind of like this look where there's a square and then a little frame around it. And there's 2 ways to do that. One way, you just take a slightly larger, there's a scrap of paper that's probably about 2 inches wide. And then you put your square on it. This is probably the fastest way. Like this. And then just trim with your trimmer and get it a little longer at the bottom. And you kind of have this effect, right? But there's another way too. I'll show you how to use your square punch to actually make an open frame. But you can see, you can start here, kind of put this here, maybe add in another scrap behind it that's a little off like that. And then put your embellishment right here, and then a word strip. And you've got a really cute cluster, really fast. I got one of the luggage punches from Creative Memories in the recent promotion, and I've been dying to use it. So I just punched out a strip of this on ivory, and then just took my scissors and cut right there. So I just have 4 suitcases, right? Here they are right here. I need to just trim that off, and then I can layer some of these fun stickers right on top, because they're meant to layer right on top of this paper. So what I'm going to do is pop up one on foam squares, keep the others down low, and then I can layer that kind of on top of my piece here, add another color behind it, and a word strip. And that's a really cute cluster, right? I wanted to show you where I ended up here in my Russia book. I just took a skinny strip to ground my cluster. I have my square, right? That's another shape. And then I took that little strip right here, layered my stickers on it, popped one up on foam squares. So you can see, if you look closely, just a little bit of the ivory behind there. And those popped right up, put a little bit of red there, and here's my word strip. So it just kind of finishes off this side of the page. There's plenty to look at and read, but this was kind of empty right here. So you kind of want to balance your 2 pages, and I thought that was a perfect place for that cluster. So here is one way you can make the frame look, but I wanted to show you how you really do an actual cutout frame. You'll want to take the paper, make sure you're pushing it all the way to the back. Hold on to it here. And punch. And then you're going to need your 12-inch trimmer. And if you look at the trimmer, here is the self-healing mat, but just on the other side is also another line in the trimmer. Let's see, can you see that up close? That's what we're going to be looking at. So what I'm going to do is set aside that, and I'll be working with this frame. So I will line up the inside to that line on my trimmer, and I will push the paper up to this top ledge so it doesn't shift, because this is just going to be a little teeny bit that comes off. Okay, and then I'm going to shift my paper around and do that again. So I'm going to push it up to the ledge. Do it again. Line it up on that line on the trimmer so it's not going to move. And that way every side is equal. And then you decide how long you want the bottom edge. Let's see, about there. Okay, so now you have a frame. And you can layer that on a little cluster, or you can use it in a border. I want to show you an idea with a border as well, since we've already used the clusters. So here we go. I've got a 3-inch piece here as a base. I grabbed another scrap. This one's 2.5 inches wide. And that way you see a little bit on each side. And then we have our frame right here. And this is a formula I've used multiple times, where you just grab some scraps, lay this down. I will probably put photos over here, so I'm not even going to worry about that. I'm just going to make this the focal point. And then you look for some embellishments. This is the Wanderlust collection, and it has tons of different embellishments. But what you're looking for is something kind of tall and skinny. And then something that's going to go out this direction. Could be a word strip. Could be arrows. Arrows are always cute. And then something small over here to embellish with. Here's some of the stickers. So look at the different sizes. If it's leaving on a jet plane, I don't know, we could put a little camera there. That would be cute. They had some little airplanes. Let's see. Here we go. Like these little airplanes, that would be darling since it's leaving on a jet plane. And then off we go, maybe in that corner. So that's just your formula for, a little border here. We're just gradually building out. Start with your frame. Do something a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. Something tall to fill this space, something small in the corner, and something that comes out here. Okay, there's a lot of variations you can do with that. Here's a few variations with that. Okay, you can see this is travel time on the road. Very simple, but cute in the corner. Right? And then just layer your photos across. I've done this multiple times with different collections, so I wanted to show you some variations. This is the Enchanted Princess. This layer right here is vellum, which makes it kind of girly and fun. And I use this little doodah right here, a little tag, something small here, and then I'll put a word strip here when I go to use this on my page. So I added a little border strip here, just one edge, so you can see that's a variation. Another one I created was a card using the pink Totally Tonal, again with the vellum and word strips, tag, and a little thing in the corner. So there's so many ways to do this. This one, I used the Serene Waters collection and a little fish right here, a little star, little on the beach right here, a little vellum underneath. This has such gorgeous colors. I love this one. That's a fun one for the beach. If you wanted to, you could cut some ruled paper to fit here. I'd have to trim this strip off a little bit and do your journaling right here if you prefer. I just love those colors, so I'm kind of partial to letting those show around some photos. Here's one that I did in the corner here, just a cluster. I used some blue vellum. I used the On the Farm collection, and it had the cutest little grid with sunflowers. I don't know if you can see in the background there, but I just think that is adorable paper. So I picked up the grid here and added a little embellishment on the top of my tag, my little word strip, and something here in the corner. It's really fun, you guys. It's a very simple technique, but it works in lots of different places. Here is a 2-page spread that I created using the 1 3/4 inch square punch. We had a very long winter in our new home, and I was more than ready for spring. We had our kids coming for Easter, and I was so excited for sunshine and flowers. I put out my Easter decorations the week before, and they got snowed on. So this is what they look like before the snow, and I'll show another page of what they look like after the snow. But I found that looking at color and flowers just really boosted my mood. And so I started taking pictures of every flower around me. And then what do I do with all of those? I decided to create a seasonal 2-page spread and just write about the things that I love that matter to me about springtime. I left some space under my peekaboo pocket here so that I could journal about it. And these little squares just kind of give you the feeling of spring. So if you have an event where you took a lot of pictures, but you want to limit the pages in your album, consider using the square punch to just punch out a little piece and put it on your page. I highly recommend creating a 2-page spread of every season and capturing what you love in pictures. It includes a part of you within the albums and helps you pause and embrace what is beautiful right around you. So give me a little love here by clicking on the heart button and let me know you like that idea. If you love making clusters, but you just want a little more instruction, I do have a class available where I demonstrated 20 2-page layouts, that's 40 pages, creating clusters. And it's called Scrap Your Heart Out, Celebrate Love class. I have a video showing how I put together each of those 2-page spreads along with a PDF of the layout and close-up color images. It was a really fun class to do. You can click on the page here on YouTube to get more information, or go to makesweetmemories.com and click on the banner that tells you about this class. It's still available to you even though the live class is finished. You can still access everything. I use the Welcome Home collection and the Joy to the World collection along with other pieces that I just had in my stash. But if you have those same collections, you'll love following along, or you can, of course, use whatever you have at home and create your own clusters using my examples as a formula. Those that completed the class live were thrilled to complete 40 pages in a single month, which most of us have never done before. This is something my customers have been asking me for, and I found that every day that month that I scrapbooked, I just got happier. So if you want a boost, it's a fabulous class to take. The normal price for the class is $40 to complete the 40 pages. But if you leave a comment below regarding what you learned today, for a limited time, I will reduce the price of this class to $25 for you. My email is in the description box, or message me in the comment section if that's something that interests you, and I can be in touch with you regarding registration and get you going. If you have not already, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to receive notifications when I go live. It really does make a difference for me, and it makes the channel easier to find. So let me know in the comments section below what you enjoyed, and if there is something specific you'd like to learn, I'm always interested in knowing that. I do read all of your comments, and I want to make content that's relevant for you. I'll be back soon with another video. Until then, go make some of your own sweet memories.